start us out.
You're good, bro. Mac, welcome to 56'N,
Yo,
where we just talk about whatever. So I appreciate you being on here. BJ, always good to see you, brother.
Always.
I just want to say, since we're recording that, like, BJ, Tyler's talked about you a lot since I met him, and it's all been like awesome shit. And dude, like, you're like the type of guy I wish I was a cop. When I was a cop, I was with somebody like you, with
Yes, you do.
with your skill set, and just like, and Tyler too, which is a given, because it would be nice, like, having guys that like are smart and that can handle themselves, and that, like, you know, they're gonna, like, even if you mess up on the street, like, Tyler wouldn't like embarrass you in front of people, or neither would you, BJ. Be like, yo, Mac, you did this wrong. Because that was always there's the thing we can go right into. I always hated how, like, and I know you guys probably think of this, like, cops are like some of the worst to each other. Like, I never understood, like, it's like, in Tyler and I talked about this, BJ, when we were at the federal firearms instructor course. It's like, dude, like, why the hell do, like, cops love busting balls? And I'm just using, like, as an example, like, Tyler, like, messed up on a call or something like that, and it'd be like, then or like shape up or whatever you guys call it, be like, oh yeah, we were out in a call and fucking Tyler, you know, wrote the wrong ticket or like did something like that. Like, dude, like, if it was like, or like, but like, even if it's like, I get it joking around a little bit, but it's like, bro, you had like 25 minutes to tell me I wasn't like not doing the right thing or something like that. And it's the guys that, like, you're on a call and there's like 47 things going on, and there's that one guy that just sits there like this.
Yeah.
And he's like, are you going to do that the right form? Dude, motherfucker, get out. And are we allowed to swear on this one?
100%.
Motherfucker, get out there and fucking help. Like, you know,
how about you do the form? How about you get the form?
Yeah, like, you know, I wasn't in a big department as you guys, but like, I remember, like, my buddy I was just talking to before I logged on, like, when we all worked together, we had a good squad. You know, we only had like 4 or 5 patrolmen at a time and a sergeant running. You know, it wasn't, you know, it was a small little town in Jersey, but we always had, like, if somebody had like an arrest, like a domestic or something that, like, or DWI, something that took a lot of time, like, we all went in and helped out. Like, one guy would, like, you know, the arresting guy, and another guy would be doing the processing, like printing and all that stuff. And then, like, sometimes, or the other, or like 2 other guys would be like if my buddy Tommy had an arrest, be like, all right, Tommy, me and Matt are going to do the processing. Why don't you start typing up complaints, you know? Because, yeah, and it's like, but then you work with other squads and they're like, nope, you got to do it all yourself. And then when you're trying to do it, they're like, they would call you for like a noise complaint, like, motherfucker, I have another 3 hours of paperwork I have to do. How about sending somebody else on it? Unless it's a major call, you know?
Yeah, no. The thing about BJ, not that we were trying to make this a hype session, but BJ and I working together was great because I, as everybody knows me, I overthink. I tend to get in my own head. I doubt, I second guess, not necessarily in a call, but after the fact. But it got to the point where BJ and I, when we were on calls, even other newer deputies and stuff, they would say, hey, can I run this by you? And I was the one to be like, hey, you got like 2 more charges, or hey, that's not a misdemeanor, that's a felony. Like, because that's all I did is I studied my shit. And not that BJ didn't do the same thing, but BJ, where what I lacked and BJ has in abundance is he knows when to push things and when to let shit go better than I do. I mean, him and I will bitch together all the time, but I would get fucking fired up about something, like, fuck this. And I go straight to the corporal, the sergeant, lieutenant. I was like, no, you're fucking wrong. You're stupid. I'm right. That kind of thing. And BJ's like, no.
BJ
Don't
was
do that.
BJ was more calm. He's like, yo,
hold
easy, motherfucker.
Yeah, it's okay, bro. It's okay.
Yeah, rule number one.
Yeah, easy. Yeah, don't overshadow the master, baby. Yeah, but to your point, Mac, we in Hillsborough, I don't know if they still do it, but if we had issues with other deputies, we didn't handle that shit. I mean, unless you were a bitch, we didn't handle that shit in front of supervisors. We went out to the back parking lot, and you would take your gun belts off and be like, "You got a motherfucking problem? We'll do it right here."
Let's have a call.
That would never fly by us. That would never.
Nobody ever wanted to step. I definitely don't think anybody wanted to step.
Well, look at the fucking size of you moron.
People still got, you know, they want to talk shit, say it to my face. But I have observed a couple of those. You break it up. Once there's a clear winner, it's like, all right, you won.
Yeah. Tyler, I'm not sure if I told you the story. BJ, this is actually a pretty good story. When I was on active duty with the Marines, this is many moons ago. This is 2001, and I'm standing OOD, Officer of the Day, in Okinawa. We're deployed, and it was a sergeant from India company. He had 8 years on. And I was a second lieutenant at the time, and he's, you know, we're shooting the shit because I got along with everybody. I'm like Tyler, I get along like fucking, I don't care if it's Charles Manson. If they're pretty cool, I'm going to talk to them for 5 minutes, you know?
Yeah.
And
Might not
we're
come to the
shooting.
house, but I'll talk to you.
Exactly. Yeah. Like, no, you're not going to know where I live. But we're shooting the shit, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm getting out and everything." I'm like, "What, dude? You're shit hot. You're like one of the best sergeants in the battalion. You know, you're a solid NCO." And he goes, "Sir, I wasn't always one of the best." I go, "What?" He goes, "I started my career out at 1st Recon Battalion." And he goes, "When I was a Lance Corporal, I was a belligerent little fuck," he said. And I said, "What happened?" He goes, "Well, one day I said something to a corporal. I think I told him to fuck off or something like that." And the corporal's like, "All right, let's go. We're going to go have a talk." So they go over this hill by 1st Recon Battalion. And he tells me as he's getting over the hill, there's like 6 or 7 other corporals there. I go, "What happened?" He goes, "I turned around and I punched that corporal." I go, "What happened after that?" He goes, I don't remember." He goes, "But I never talked back again in my life after that." And he said they beat the living shit out of him. And he said he learned he got like 1 hit in, maybe like a half another, and that's it. Like no paperwork, nothing. And then he said, like, the next day I was treated like back to being a Marine. But I learned to be respectful of my leadership, whether it be officer or enlisted and shit. So
yeah, that's it's funny that we're talking about this. I came across a little bit of a situation this past week. To me, it kind of highlights a little bit of a different time in the mindset of many guys who are a little bit older, and some of the new guys, where it's like, "Hey man, again, this is just me as a human being. If you have a problem, come talk to me about said problem, and we can either we'll handle it or it won't get handled. But at a minimum, we'll know how each other feels, and we don't gotta like each other, but we'll know how to navigate this."
Yeah, that's that, dude. That's it. Like, hey, listen,
It'll be
I don't
fine.
like you, you don't like me, but like, I'm gonna back you up on the road and this and that. But like, stop talking shit. Like, I mean, I remember. So when I was in the bureau, and again, like BJ Tyler knows, I came from a smaller police department, dude. We didn't have a massive bureau. There was 4 of us in there at the time, and there was no detective sergeant at the time. It was 4 detectives. For us, it wasn't a promotion. It was just a lateral. You were technically a patrol detective, but you had the gold badge and everything. And I was one of the guys who like logged the evidence at the department in. There was a couple of us. So one of the guys, he was, trying to become detective sergeant, and he had like, he had his CI. He was fucking marijuana. This is before it became legal in Jersey. It was like a fucking couple dime bags. So we did a raid on someone's house, and I was in charge of collecting the evidence, me and another detective. So we're doing that and everything like that. And we finish up, and I was getting like, "Oh, Harry, Mac, you done yet?" I'm like, all right. Get back to headquarters. It's like, 8, 9 o'clock at night. And I'm like, all right, let me go through the evidence, make sure I got everything. And I'm going through it, and we had found $2,000, like $2,200 in cash, and we seized it. And I'm like, fuck, dude, I forgot it. I left it there. I fucked up. Bottom line. Literally, the guy who's chief now was a lieutenant at the time. I literally walked into his office, and I'm like, LT, I fucked up. I did this. I left this. He's like, "Okay, thanks, Mac." I knew he was upset, but he wasn't like pissed at me.
Yeah.
He was pissed, but he wasn't like, "You're an asshole. You suck." So,
Yeah.
dude, I owned up. Literally owned up. This guy, was trying to become detective sergeant, and he got detective sergeant because he was buddy with the chief and shit. But I remember, so I'm at fucking I'm at command and staff with the Marines for drill weekend, and he texts me and he's like, "Dude, you need to own up to what you did and everything." I'm like, "What, motherfucker? I fucking went in there right away." And I tried calling, and then he's like, "Oh, I'm at a party." I'm like, and I'm like, I admitted it right off the bat. I fucked up. And so then I remember the other detective, Brad, they wanted to like discipline both of us. And I went in there and I'm like, Brad didn't do anything. I was in charge of it. And Brad's like, this is the type of guy Brad was. He's like, dude. He goes, "I don't care." I'm like, "No, Brad, you didn't do anything." And like I got talked to. They wanted to send me to like some training, but they never did because they don't never follow up on anything. But that pissed me off so fucking much that this guy was like, "You need to own it." I'm like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" I interviewed, like, I think I probably talked about it at TIC when I interviewed, like, name a thing, and I talked about it. Like, I admit I messed up. And I remember one of the girls in my command and staff, she's a FBI agent, and she was a major. We were all majors at the time in the Marine Corps, and I'm like, and she's like, "Yeah, you fucked up, but like," and she goes, "You messed up, but you owned it. That's it. Bottom line." And she's like, in the bureau that would never happen because there would be like, because somebody would check your make sure your evidence you're taking, and then another person would double check it. It's like, but that's how like PDs are. They're like, okay, because I was being rushed, but that's not the excuse. Like but like everybody's like, all right, could we go? I'm like, no, we're not done fucking getting stuff. But fucking cops, dude. Like, see, I'm getting all now.
No, I mean, Ty, you've seen it. I mean, we've all been places where that kind of shit happens. But I personally have told myself, one, the job doesn't make me who I am, and two, I don't need to stand on the shoulders or the backs of other people to feel tall. So
No.
that's just never gonna be my thing. It's just not. So
Yeah, and I mean that's just the way to do it. That's like, I think the way we were all raised, and like from our backgrounds and shit, and like I mean, I like Tyler and I said, like at the federal course, we're like I was a firearms instructor for the PD in Jersey, and I was always like, oh, we need to get more guys. They're like, oh, you don't want to, like, you're gonna screw your promotion. I'm like, no, I'm trying to make sure we have enough to train all the officers out there so they know how to shoot. Because as you guys know, most cops don't really train, and you know, but like Tyler and I was saying, like that, like, you know, like, yeah, when you send someone to a fire instructor course, they're usually a better shot and everything like that. But what's the big deal? Like, I came from a department of like, I don't know, varied between like 34 and 36 guys, and we had like a part-time tactical team, and you know, everybody had on that team had to go to like a SWAT course. You know, like I went to FBI SWAT, which was like a decent one compared to like some of the other more like money making ones. Like the FBI one was free, so the bureau put it on. But I was always like, why not send everybody in this small department to SWAT, so everybody gets an understanding, so we can get rifles, M4s for everybody, so when we go on a call, people know what to do. Yeah.
Like, oh no, all of my cops are trained to the level of SWAT or firearms. I mean, again, this is if they want to. I'm not saying they have to, but if everybody wanted to, like, what's the problem with that? Oh no.
I think they should. At a minimum.
You guys know, it's like the keeper of the badge. It's like, it's like, Tyler, I think I told you the story, BJ. This is like when I was in Afghanistan. I remember, like, you know, the battalion would have air officers and FACs, forward air controllers, and they are pilots that are on a ground tour, and they help with calling in airstrikes and stuff like that. And I remember the Cobra guy was telling me that, like, the Marine Corps has two, East and West Coast, TACP, Tactical Air Control Party School, JTAC, Joint Terminal Air Controller, like for call it like clearance strikes. And he said that like a time, like there would be different platforms running the course. Would be like a bunch of F-18 guys or Harrier guys. And he said one time, I think the one he went through was a bunch of Huey guys running it. And they failed all the Huey guys that went through the course, like just so they can say like, yeah, see what we did. All the Huey guys, they couldn't make it through with us. Like, and my buddy, who's a full bird colonel, who's actually like in zone for general, but he's getting out. He's not going to go through. He would get it. And, you know, he's a prior enlisted guy. And he was like a former sergeant, and he's fucking shit hot. And he's like, I do not understand why in the Marine Corps we fail people out of schools. You know, we should be doing every possible thing to pass people in schools. Like, listen, there's certain schools that are like I remember this master gunnery sergeant, a reconnaissance guy. You know, I remember his coolest thing. He told me when he was a 19-year-old Lance Corporal, he got to watch the USS New Jersey shell Lebanon on the USS Iwo Jima. That's how long he'd been in at this time. And he went down to the Marine Corps owns their own combatant dive school in Panama City. And he went down there. They had like, at the time, the school had like a 60 to 70 attrition rate of failing people. He goes, there's no way that people should be failing out of that course this much. He goes, and he found out, like, first off, the guy said when he got down there, he said that the head of the school said he went to Ranger school and he didn't. So the first fuck you. And then he was being a keeper of the badge. Like, everybody that goes to dive school basically has been to basic reconnaissance course, BRC. Like, that'll give you the 0321 MOS. So they've been hazed. They can put it there. And he goes, this course is hard enough. Like, guys fail because of like dive mechanics, like, and dive physics, like the academic stuff. He goes, they were just like thrashing people in the surf and then being like, you're out of here, man. You're out of here. Like, no, like, dude, like, okay, listen, Tyler's here, BJ's here. They're having trouble with they're using the rebreathers. Let's fucking get them up so they know how to use it. And then if it's like, let's say, I'm not saying this is the number. Let's say like, okay, Tyler's tried this thing 3 or 4 times. Like, all right, we're gonna talk to him. Be like, listen, dude, we're gonna fail you now, but you can come back to the course and shit like that. It's shit like that. Not just like, oh, you can't fucking run or do this, and like I'm just gonna fail you just to fail you. I hate that shit.
Well, we had that with in the Secret Service. There was certain polygraphers who, same thing. They're like, I have a 70% fail rate. It's like, you're a fuck. What is wrong? Like, do we have a surplus of bodies, dude? You're failing people for they smoked weed 12 times instead of 8 or whatever. What is wrong with you?
Yeah.
What is wrong with you, bro?
It's funny, Tyler. I was talking about one of my buddies. I'm trying to get him out for LA. He's a LAPD guy.
Let's go.
Yeah, I'm trying. He was a homicide detective, and he's on the road now. He's a sergeant, but and he's a former Marine. He was enlisted as a reconnaissance Marine, and I was texting him today because he's a funny dude, and I'm like, dude, I don't think I ever asked you this. How come you never did SWAT for LAPD? He goes, yeah, man, I took the test. I passed. Like I was I was the top one in that indoc or whatever you want to say, the test. But I had they're like, oh, come back when you got more time on. I'm like, how much time did you have? He's like, 6 years. I'm like, really? And he's like, yeah, dude, it was all like, it's all like, this is like, and I'm just using Tyler, oh, we're gonna have our boy Tyler, and like we're like. And like dudes that did the test, like Tyler did 2 pull-ups and I did like 25, and like it's like something like that. It's like, come on, dude. Then if you're gonna do that, just fucking admit it. We know who we want, so everybody else go fucking home right now.
BJ, did he touch on something, buddy?
Did that?
Tell Mac, bro. Hold on, Mac. Listen, do you mind, BJ, or no?
No, go ahead.
Well, no, it's your story, bro.
Go ahead, bro.
So BJ tried out for SWAT twice, and BJ is probably the strongest motherfucker. I mean, he could probably. Well, no, I don't say he could rip your arm off just standing still. He could just rip it off. And can handle himself. All the things. They didn't like his run time.
It was 30 seconds. It was 30 seconds off.
So they booted him.
We were all preparing for this, not knowing we're gonna have to be running this in pants, and sneakers. So it's like,
okay, whatever. It's all stupid. The point is, and now he's a bomb tech, and then he got SWAT certified anyway.
Definitely ended up working out in the end.
I never understand that, dude. Like, look, I understand. Like, listen. I think we all come from the same backgrounds. You want a PT background, you want someone that could do, but it's like there's always the joke in the Marine Corps. They're like, there's the Terminal Lance comic, and there's like a guy gets out of the Marine Corps and he's like, oh, we're going to promote Lurch here. And it's like some guy that's like, yes, and he's in like an office room setting, smash. And someone's like, how did this guy get promoted? He's like, oh, he has a perfect PFT score and scored expert on the rifle. Like, okay, that's good, but like, that's really good. But like, do the guys like him? Does he know what he's doing?
Well, Matt, I don't know if you listened to the interview I did with Francois, but I like the way they do things. I mean, we couldn't do it in the U.S., but everyone goes to the same school, police academy, for the entire country. Everything you want to do is a test. They control. I mean, they beat cop to their version of FBI, ATF, DEA, Secret Service. It all comes from the same pool, and it's all tests. It's all testing and physical fitness. And he goes, but at the end of the day, whatever division you want to go to, he goes, you could be a PT stud at hundreds on everything, but if they don't like you, they're like, no, because they're like, I don't want to work with this guy for the next 3 years. No.
Yeah.
He goes, so personality goes a long way as well.
Yeah. That's a big thing.
Oh, I'm sorry, BJ, you go.
I think that's a big thing when we do not being the website one of the senior guys on our team. I will say that is a big part of our selection process. Again, everybody goes to the same test, 100% the same, but the how somebody's going to gel with the team weighs probably, I'd say, 51. If everything's half and half, equal across the board, that part is probably like 51%. Like I said, somebody can be perfect this, be a fucking all-star, jump out the gym, shoot perfectly, blah, blah, blah. But if that guy's an asshole,
fuck him. No. Fuck him.
Yeah, no, absolutely not. Absolutely.
Yeah, there was a show I saw on Delta a while ago, and it had guys big Delta guys from the 90s. They were retired, and I think I forgot what the one guy's name, and he said it. He goes, it's I forget. Wait, was it? It's not the best job for the guy. It's not the best guy for the job. It's the right guy for the job.
Yeah.
And then talking to like other Delta guys that I met like in the military and through training courses, and like I see it like, you know, like I remember I talked to one guy and I'm like, what happens if a dude makes it through OTC and you know he's not like he went through selection for Delta, he's in the operator training course, he's making it, he's going through it, but he's not at that level of like, you know, the shooting level that they expect. He's like, the guy I talked to, he's like, we find a job for somebody like that. We put them where they're good at, and you know, and you know, maybe the guys, because the one guy he was telling me about was the guy, like, you know, he wasn't going to be an assaulter. Like he didn't have that the shooting that Delta expects, but they made him a breacher, and he said that dude can get through fucking Fort Knox in a matter of seconds, and they put somebody where they're good at, you
Yeah.
know.
No,
Yeah.
that's excellent. Well, I wanted to touch on this because you were talking about life after retirement and how you're now and you're doing armed security, Mac. But just could you reiterate that, because I do have thoughts on that.
So okay, so you know, I'm gonna go on a soapbox right here
Go
right
ahead.
now.
What there?
You know, I don't think I'm the best at anything. I think I'm pretty good, and I think I'm a good fit for a lot of the shit we do. And like, you know, it was annoying. Like I was trying to apply for jobs, and you never hear anything, which sucks. So I've been doing like just for some like income for the summer, and I've been doing like security work and shit. And my wife said it the other day, Jamie, and then my sister, like, my wife's like, why aren't you getting more money than like a regular guy off the street that just goes to the armed guard security classes and stuff? She's like, you know, you were a cop, you were a Marine, you've been in combat and stuff. I'm like, yeah, like, you know, I mean, like we talked about this before the thing recorded about like today I was doing stuff and the one guy was late, which is, dude, I don't give a shit you're late, like, you know. But like, you know, I doubt if I don't know if I don't know who the fuck that is. If I was late, like with the guy, like I punched out, and then the owner's like, you know, joking around, I'm not going to give you overtime. I'm like, I go, no, but he was busting my balls earlier in the day. I'm like, well, I go, this is why I should get more money, because I'm sitting here, I'm clocked out, I'm waiting till this guy gets here. He's like, oh, thank you. And you know, and that's the thing, like how, like, dude, don't get me wrong. Like, you know, there's other guys that were cops in the military would just be like, yeah, see you later, dude. But like, you know, you get it. You know, you know, like, oh, like, all right, I got to sit. Plus, it was like a daycare with kids. I'm like, no, dude, they expect the guard here.
Yeah.
Like, and I said to the guy, I said when I was leaving, I'm like, hey, I'm gonna stick around to the guy here. He's running late. He's like, all right, thank you. I go, I'm doing it, you know, because I said two things. I go, because it's just like, you know, my background, and then because you're a really nice guy and everybody's really nice here, so I feel connected. Like that's the thing too. You know, they're
For sure.
they're nice
Yeah.
people there. But like, you're like, come on, dude, like give me a little bit more money. You know, I mean, like, you know, I'm only asking for like $250 an hour, 250. I mean, is that really that much?
I think you've earned it, bro. You've earned it.
Yeah.
How much?
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. And that's the thing, BJ, you brought up the point. Like I go there and like I'm still bringing two spare magazines with me, and you know, and I got my Glock with my red dot that I shoot once or twice a week still, and you know, and it's like, wait a minute, bro, what the fuck, dude? Like,
Yeah.
I'm taking it seriously because like it's also my life, but it's also like, you know, I'm going to protect people. Like if I get in a gunfight, I want to make sure I have enough ammo and shit like that. So
I agree.
BJ?
100% give my money. I think the question is, you know, and that's how we talked about it before. What level of outcome are you expecting? Are you expecting me just to stand here and be a good witness? Are you expecting me to like jump in the way of a bullet for one of these kids? Like what are you expecting me to do should something happen?
yeah,
And I think
yeah.
that's whatever you're expecting, that's what you should be paying me.
Yeah, absolutely. You hit the fucking nail on the head, BJ. It's like, what level do you want? Do you want me just this? Do you want like parents to see me walking around at drop off, or do you want me like what I do now is like I see like someone walking through the thing, I walk out towards them and just make sure they're not like, you know, it's somebody walking their dog or something, old hag or some shit like that. But like, you don't know if they have a very good latex outfit on that they can rip it off and it's like some young, but like, you're right. It's like, what's the level? And it's like, and then I don't know if this is like making me sound like a whiner or something, but it's also like, it's like, like, like if you pay me good and you treat me good, you're going to get a fucking level of service. Don't be a dick and be like, because I've heard stories about like some people were like they get mad that like the security guard comes inside in the vestibule to warm up when it's like in the 30s or 20s out. Like, bro, let me tell you something. If I get that, I'm gonna be like, you know what? I'll see you later. I'm clocking out later.
Yeah,
You know?
fuck that. I'm out. It must not be that important to you.
Yeah, exactly. You're like, it's funny because I think I've caught some of the people off guard. Like I'm like, because I like the first day I'm like, okay, do you guys have any threats, any known threats or anything? They're like, oh no, not that I think of. I mean, how's things with your neighbors? Do all your neighbors get along? Is there any issues or anything? Like I catch people off guard when I ask them things like that. Like that's kind of what you're supposed to do, and that's from being a fucking Marine and being a cop. It's like
put you in a different mindset.
Well, Tyler, you can attest, like on certain Secret Service details, some people are like, oh, this is the president of like Kyrgyzstan, like whatever. Like, nah, dude, like you like want to know what's going on and shit like that.
Mac, I'll tell you this. I've told BJ. I don't know if I've shared it on podcast. I won't name names, but because so in the Secret Service, anytime somebody comes to the U.S., like their head of state, so to speak, they get Secret Service protection, and they usually will travel with their bodyguards, their version of Secret Service, and depending on the country, but there have been several smaller countries, I'll phrase it that way. When they're in the U.S., they're basically like, we're done, and they will get fucking shit-faced. They're passed out in the back seat. There was one dude, I'm not going to name the country, but there was one dude, he comes out of his room, his protectee, the leader of his country is going to do something. He's in a tank top, cloth shorts with his gun in his pocket, so it's like, you can see his dick root. And he's like, do y'all need me? And I was like, not really. I mean, that's your guy. Like, that's why you were paid to be here. He's like, nah, he'll be all right. And then he goes back into his room doing, God only knows what he was doing. And I'm like, I couldn't imagine doing that. Like the president of the United States just rolling, like we go to France and be like, y'all got him? All right, we out. We're good.
Yeah.
Get out on your fucking protectee.
Yeah. Like, all right, the whole PPDs. Like we're going sightseeing.
Yeah, we're out.
If
y'all got him.
Yeah. Here's the keys to the limo. Like you just got to turn it one time. If it gets there, you got to do the steering wheel. If it locks, Now
on the flip side, I will say this: some smaller third world countries, like crazy, where like their leaders are gods and emperors and whatever madness they call themselves, GDP of like 3 goats. Those bodyguards will sleep in front of the door of their protectee's room, and they will never leave their side 24/7. And if they have to use the bathroom, they will have somebody else come watch their door for not us, but somebody else from their crew use the restroom, and then they're running like back because they feel like they've been gone too long. And I'm like, dude, you need like what is going? And then they will not a pillow or not. I was like, bro, I don't have that. I'm not like that, bro. I need to go to my bed. It better be a king size.
Well, I mean, it's probably some of these countries that.
Yeah, BJ, that's a true story, bro. Dude was sleeping, bro, sprinting because he had to like pee or whatever. Yeah, sprinting because he had to pee.
But it's probably part of it, Tyler, is like, probably like because they have good living and they know if they fuck up, they're like, well, you're back to down by the river in a van,
Yeah, bro. No, for real. Or you just get disappeared.
Yeah. They're like, oh, hey, whatever happened to John that you had? He goes, I don't know who you're talking about. He's never here.
That's him right there.
Yeah. I went to the train station and they never came back.
I like that. I like that.
Oh shit.
Yeah. It is weird. Like, but then like Tyler, you can say this like with the Secret Service and PJ probably also with the Sheriff's Department, you get some guys that just take it to like the extreme.
Hold on. Let me ask you, BJ, hold on. Back me up, bro. Before I say this, Mac, I want to make sure, but you might have been one of the guys. The guys that we'll stick with the Sheriff Department because I can talk about Secret Service guys too, which is fucking insane. They go to work, like they're working patrol, they're ready. They have their entire belt is full of magazines. They'll have 40 spare magazines for the rifle, fucking fixed bayonet, fixed blade, like tucked up in their vest, 2-3 sets of handcuffs on their belt. Like I had a rack of handcuffs, but they were in my car.
No, I had one set of handcuffs. I had 2 mags.
Yeah, normal standard gear.
Yeah, I had an.
I'm talking like the eight racks. Like
yeah, no.
400.
I had an M4 mag on my belt, and then on my vest I had 2 additional mags.
Well, you had the outer carriers though.
Yeah, we had outer carriers, and then I had. But remember, when I had this set up, I wasn't on patrol all the time. I was in the bureau. So my outer carrier had 2 mags, and then another M4 mag, and then a trauma kit on it.
Yeah.
Like, dude, if I was back on patrol, I don't know if I'd be wearing that fucking mag on my belt. with the M4, and then like maybe I would have one on my vest, and that's like, dude, you sitting in a fucking car for 12 hours. It's like, and when it's hot, no,
Yeah, the only thing I had a lot of was gloves, because that's the number one thing. I didn't want to get nothing on my fucking hands, bro.
Bro, you know what? Let me interject real quick. This has become a very, very big pet peeve of mine lately, and I see it only in young guys. Right? You tell about the latex gloves. I'm sure that's what you're talking about. I have a plethora of latex gloves, right?
Always.
But I will see that, depending on what the nature of the car comes out, right? These guys get out of the car and they're just wearing latex gloves, and I'm like, bro, and I never say anything in the moment, right? Like you said before, I never say anything in the moment. But it's always one thing I kind of go to him after the fact. I say, hey man, I'm just curious, why are you wearing latex gloves when you haven't touched anybody? I'm doing this. Yeah, what if they were doing? I was like, okay, I see you haven't been doing this long enough to know, right? I was like, have you ever tried to grab something that was wet or sweaty or slick in latex gloves? Well, no, I was like, I promise you, it's not going to go the way you think it's going to go.
Yeah, and they're coming out of the car for a parking complaint in latex gloves.
I'm like, yo, get you some gloves with some texture on it. I was like, or just fucking grab them with your hands. Always wash your hands later.
Yeah.
Quick side. I was like, I don't know what it is.
That's weird.
That's weird. Strange to me. I see it a lot in the barber.
Yeah, I always had a pair of gloves, like regular cloth, like they were Nomex gloves. They were the fireproof gloves. I always had those. Those are like if I arrested somebody searching them. But I also, like, here's the thing, dude. Like, I would tell guys, I just got new gloves. I'm like, and like, you're going out on the road. They're like, yeah. I'm like, have you shot with those gloves yet? No. I'm like, dude. Like, or then someone would get like one guy he would do like remember the LA sheriffs they have the mags for the side pull like that.
Yeah, which I don't like.
I'm like, dude, did you ever shoot with that? Oh yeah. I go, okay, so what happens if you're shooting in a car and like you got to crouch down, your vest gets over there and shit like that? Or guys would get a new holster. I'm like, did you get that cleared? They're like, yeah. And then I would talk to the lieutenant. Did so and so get their holster? No. I'm like, dude, I'm like, go shoot with it. I told Tyler this story. We were doing it was just before my daughter got sick. It was June of 21, and that's my dad. He's gonna call me in a second. I'll text him. And we were doing firearms training, and one of my buddies from the Marine Corps is a cop in San Jose, California. He's fucking great. I think he's gonna come down, Tyler, but he doesn't want to. We can't talk any cop stuff with him. You can only talk about Marine stuff with him.
That's fine, man.
And I told him that. They had an active shooter at a workplace, and a guy actually ended up shooting somebody, I think killing him, and then I think he offed himself, the guy. And he was one of the first guys to get there. Like SWAT was called out and stuff, but like I'm like, well, U.S. Patrol, like, yeah, I know he can shoot and stuff like that, but it's like, I'm a patrol guy. I got there first. SWAT was getting called up, and so I'm talking at firearms, and I'm like, listen, hey, I was telling the story about my buddy Scott in San Jose, and I go like this, and again, like, Tyler knows this. I don't say I'm the best or anything. I try and work at being good at something. I said, listen, I seen how most of you shoot and you suck. And that kind of scares me going into an active shooter like that.
Yeah.
And one officer made a complaint, and my buddy there who had issues with shooting, and I always said this, as even when I was on patrol and then when I was in the bureau, I said, if anybody ever has trouble shooting, I will work with you. I will go to the range. I'll see if we can get the range that we share with the town over and stuff. And I did that with my buddy. He was having trouble. He was unking, and I worked with him. I took him shooting a bunch of times, and then, he got better and he was passing and stuff. And he said that, like, he saw that this person, I'm not going to say who they were, what sex they were, or anything like that. They were just general. They were like this. He's like, no, Adam, volunteered. I said that there after I said that, because someone was like, hey, I'm like, listen, I said, anytime you want to go shoot, I will take someone shoot. I will teach you. And I go, and some people were like, and I've said it before, they're like, oh, this and that. I'm like, I'm sorry. How many gunfights have you been in? And, that's what I would.
One of my favorite lines from you, Mac, in firearms training, everybody was like, oh, their groups are this tight or whatever, blah, blah. And Mac's like, well, I've been in a bunch of gunfights and I'm still here, so I'm 100%. And everybody, he's like, how many gunfights have you been in?
Yeah. And BJ, we went and I'll tell you, some of those guys at the firearms course, like Tyler was one of them, but like the Marshall guys, bro, they were like Sumner, bro. That dude was like, and these fucking
kit,
and these dudes could talk the talk and back it up, and they were awesome guys. You know, we lucked out. We had a really solid firearms class, man.
No, we did. But BJ,
Yeah.
I learned about they had the flared magazine wells, the weighted magazine, so that when they hit it just drops and all this. I was like, this is some John Wick shit, bro. I've never even seen this shit.
I was like, how often you guys get in shootings?
Bro, they had the red dots and all that. I just had my Glock with iron sights and like one mag. I forgot my mag pouch, and they were like in my pocket.
Yeah, that was fucking funny, dude.
I still shot. Fuck 'em, bro. Expert, baby.
You got 291, I think, right?
I did. I got the little thing. Quick question, because I have a question about this. Back it up with a couple things. What are your favorite gloves? Not latex gloves. I'll tell you mine. And this is after spending hundreds of dollars on shark skin gloves, Kevlar gloves. Bro, mechanics gloves from like the AutoZone or whatever are the fucking best. And I don't know why, but they are the best. They were still are my go-to.
Mine are pilot's gloves. What pilots wear, the Nomex flight gloves.
I've never had those, so I
had them in. I still have them in black. They're normally come in like the sage green, and then there's the combat vehicle crewmen, which are the same one I use for Iraq, that are green with a black there, but they have the flame retardant. Part of the reason was that is because I could shoot decent with them, like actually like pretty good. But I also like, especially from being a fucking cop, dude, it's like you never know if you're gonna have to pull somebody out of a burning car or something like that. And you guys probably had the shitty polyester uniforms like we used to like that. And so I mean, that's part of the thing. So at least I knew my hands were if I had to get somebody in or do something, those were mine.
What about you, BJ?
I wear mechanics gloves.
You do that too? Okay.
One of the few that actually fit my hand size.
Well, that's all. Yeah, you also have abnormally large hands. That's also true.
But as far as like the dexterity and to be able to move, it comes back like my girl's like, bro, you got fucking Lego hands. You can't even move.
Yeah. When they're so stiff.
It's so stiff. I'm like, bro, I need to be able to move.
I'm fucking using that Lego hands now. I'm fucking using that.
Oh, dude, I love it.
It's so fucking stiff.
And one other, just touch on it because Mac, you brought it up, but I must say, because I was a deputy in Florida and I was a trooper in Maine, you touched on it, the heat, the humidity in Florida. It is the first time that I had heat rash. Like, I was a real bitch. Like, I would take my vest off. Like, I don't know. I don't care. I'll tell it. I took my vest off. I'd been on for maybe a week. Bro, my nipples were bleeding. My back was like raw and chafed. I had to get like silver nitrate cream, and I had to like put Band-Aids on my nipple. I was like, oh my God, I'm dying, bro.
Dude, listen.
Fucking cotton shirts underneath your vest. Like,
I learned that lesson real quick. Under Armour shirts, bro.
No, I remember that when I was in the Marine Corps the first time getting heat rash. Like, dude, I don't care how tough you are. No. That shit humbles you. It's real quick. It's a mixture of, it hurts a little bit, but it is so fucking uncomfortable. Yeah. You just want to be like, throw your Matchbox cars and be like, fuck you guys, I'm not playing anymore. I'm going home for the day. That's it. You just want to go back. Like, I'm going to the couch. Mom's gonna bring me some cookies or something.
I used to make fun of the dudes that had the little the cop coolers. You stick them in your shirt. And I would be like, yeah, you're a fucking pussy or whatever. August after my first year, I was like, bro, where'd you get that? I need one of that. I'm fucking dying, bro.
And you guys know, being in a fucking patrol car for 12 hours a day, the AC's working, but you never get fucking cool. Nope. You never, because you're in and out of the car, and then like, the car's been and we had black and whites where I was. Did you guys have like you had lighter color cars?
They're all white with like green writing.
Yeah. Like, dude, you would have to like go in like we had a couple like underpasses or buildings that you go there I would go sit there for a half hour, like just let it cool. I remember my buddy was a cop in Patterson, the town next to me, and like it's a fucking shithole. And he would be driving when the Crown Vics, like came on in 96. Right? Yeah, 96, because he's retired now. And he would tell me like, you drive like the Crown Vic, you'd be just fucking hot and everything like that. And the kids would have the fire hydrants open up, and he would drive up, and they think they're like gonna get in trouble. He's like, no, you guys just stand there. He would go put the car in front of the fire hydrant just to cool it off, so the AC would work.
Cool the hood off.
And then he's like, all right, carry on.
Well, I was trying to. We were talking about before the Florida humidity. I was trying to explain it to somebody. They're like, well, I was like, wow, fucking humidity is kicking out. I'm fucking dying, man. I'm dying here. They're like, well, don't you have the AC? And I was like, I don't think you understand how this works. Okay. It's like, when you're at home, right, you're getting your uniform on, everything's dry, right? As soon as you walk outside, that humidity starts to heat up your internal temperature. So now you're sweating. I was like, you can't tell, but there is a rainforest inside my shirt right now. Okay? I was like, and once you start sweating, like, yeah, but the AC's on. I was like, yeah. I said, but the AC just makes you cold. It doesn't make you dry. I was like,
Yeah,
so
exactly.
now I'm just wet. Now I'm just wet and cold. Or I'm either wet and hot, or I'm wet and dry, or I'm wet and cold. Like there is no.
And you have horrific swamp ass. Like you can never, like especially in those polyester pants, you never get like your ass doesn't dry then. And it's not that it's dirty; it's just that you're sweating there, and there's probably like. There's like, you know, like in remember Men in Black where when he opens the locker and there's those little guys in there. We probably all had that in our ass, like a whole microcosm of a society living there.
A whole ecosystem in there, bro.
Yeah.
So bad, bro.
You know, when girls will be like, I never understood this shit. Because like, I just took my bra off at the end of a long day, and they're like, bro, you take that vest off? And so it's not even the vest. Just take the shirt off.
It's the vest and then the fucking socks after
wearing.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I have racked out on the couch with I took the vest off and the socks and gone. If that cold air hits you, they put that chokehold on you.
Oh, dude, I just hated, dude. I'm just thinking about like, and we had you guys had like tan. We had the dark navy blue uniforms.
No, white and green.
White and green.
And for a short time when I was on the road, we had the outer carriers. Then I went to the bureau. Like we used to have like when we had the polyester and you had your vest on under it, and you're just like, and you're like, and then this is another thing, all right, and you guys get this. Then people wonder why when like, you know, you've been on 8-9 hours into your tour and you go to like, you've gone to like 37 ridiculously stupid calls and someone's like, well, Officer Tyler was kind of rude to me and everything like that. Like, bitch, because I'm sweating and I'm like, you're complaining about your neighbor's leaves on your fucking front lawn. Get a rake and rake it.
Yeah.
You know?
Definitely highly irritable.
Yeah. Or like, you're like dehydrated. They're like, why don't you drink water? I'm like, I'm on my 4th bottle of water already today, okay? And I've only pissed once. Yeah, that's really cool. We do have to admit, like, I mean, we bitch and moan from being cops, like the calls we deal with and people, but like it is nice when you get there and someone is like genuinely concerned or like ask you how you're doing and stuff like that. Like, no, for sure. I always tell the story, like BJ, like we in Jersey, most Jersey towns has a volunteer fire and medic EME, and you know, people would call, like we would have to go, like the cops are we're the only like professionals, the only ones working 24/7. We would always have to go to medicals, and like I always hated going to, like, people would call 911. I'm like, oh my god, and you get there and it's like a fucking toenail is like split a little bit or something like that. And then you would get the people that would like call up on the non-emergency line and they'd be like, yeah, I think I need an ambulance. You get there and their fucking head is hanging on by one jugular, not both jugulars. One's already off, and they're like, I'm like, they're like, yeah, I felt bad. I didn't want to call 911. And you're like, no, this is why you call 911. We don't give a shit for this, you know?
Yeah, no, for sure. But did you guys ever have that experience, a professional moment?
I can't say that I have.
No.
I mean, never. Not
the worst is probably like you're still on like a death investigation. Obviously, you can't go anywhere. Can't leave. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I'm like, I gotta go. I gotta take a leak. This is really professional. I was like, I'm gonna have to use your bathroom.
I just gotta use your bathroom real quick.
Sorry.
I remember being on a sudden death, and I was training my one buddy. And it was New Year's Eve, and training them, and it was like a halfway house type deal where we were like, the guy died in his room, but like we were waiting on his like caseworker came down or something. I don't remember it exactly. This was like 12, 13 years ago. And the guys there, you know, we're waiting for the ME's office to come, and you know, I don't even think the medics came yet to pronounce him. You know, because we got to wait for the medics to come, or they may have pronounced it. Yeah, I think they did, and we're waiting on the ME's office and stuff. And, you know, they're taking their sweet fucking time because it's New Year's Eve. And me and this guy, Ricky Bobby is his name. That's his nickname. He's a different name. And I'm like, dude, we're like sitting there, we're sitting there. The guy's in the bedroom dead. You know, we're just waiting. And it's this young kid who's like the social worker or whatever. And we're sitting there. I'm like, dude, what do you want to do for dinner? And Ricky Bobby's like, I don't know. I'm like, dude, what do you think about sushi? I'm like, yeah, sushi sounds good. Should we order and stuff like that? Like, yeah. And then we go to the guy and like, hey man, you want to get sushi with us? And this kid had the fucking look like, like he like this was his first time dealing with a client that died and stuff like that. He's like, no, I'm okay. I'm like, you sure, bro? Because and then like,
We're gonna be here for a while.
yeah, I'm like, we're here for a while. Like, we got one of the other guys is bringing us coffee. You want one? No, I'm okay. I'm like,
Yeah.
dude, it's like you gotta like. And I said to the kid, I'm like, you gotta make sure you're okay. Like, you're drinking and eating and stuff like that. He's like, no, I'm okay. He just couldn't, because we're sitting there and like, yeah, I'm like, dude, what do you think? He's like, sushi. I'm like, yeah, what rolls do you want and stuff like that. Like, this is what people don't get. Like, yeah, it bothers us that there's a dead guy in there, but like, what are you gonna do about it? Like, you can't sit there and be like, you'll sit in the corner and cry for the rest of your life, and shit like that. Like, yeah, it sucks, but like,
you know what? I'm gonna order you a coffee anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
You're gonna want it. Like, so first time, huh? Yeah. Yeah.
Well, there was a homicide detective that he would always come. He was always eating something, and I don't know. I remember I called him for something. He came in. He was eating an apple, and I'm like, "Oh, bro, it's disgusting. There's a dead body," and he's just like,
"Yeah,
so what do you got?" And I'm just like, "Oh, maybe it was his thing. I don't know, bro."
Yeah, but
people have their own mechanisms.
It's funny because when Lucy was sick, I mean, it sucked, and people. I remember like my buddies, like he's like, "You all right?" I'm like, oh, "Dude, I mean, no, it sucks, but like, what am I gonna do?" He's like, "Oh, you fucking grunts, bro. How do you do it?" I'm like, and I said to him, I'm like, "Dude, what am I gonna do? Am I gonna sit here and fucking cry and pout about something I have no control over, or am I gonna make the time I have with her and my wife and just see what we can do to help her?" That's it. I mean, it.
Stronger man than me, buddy. I've thought about that ever since I met you and we've been talking, and I'm just like, I probably would still be in a closet, bro. I don't know. I'm not. I don't know. But I hear what you're saying, and you're 100% right, because she's the one that's sick, and here you are like moping and sad, and you know what I mean? Like, that doesn't help her at all. No, I fully understand what you're saying.
It's funny because the few times that like my wife or I cried in front of her, we tried not to. She would like. My daughter.
She would comfort you guys?
No, she would yell at us. She'd be like, "Stop!" He'd be like, "Stop being a baby." I mean, that was her. She was nervous. She was scared. She didn't like seeing us cry, but she's like, "Oh, you're being a baby." But she would be like, if like I remember, I think Jamie or one of us like, "Oh, I think I heard something," and Lucy, and she like she got this a lot from me. She'd be like, "Oh, you want to try and be uncomfortable? Try having cancer and see how you deal with that." Like she was. Bro. She fucking, I'm like, all right, like that's why I always said like, Tyler, if you see like, I'm like, don't Lucy would always say, don't be a bitch, just life's like, deal with it. Like you're going to be sad, but just like get through what you're dealing with. And then, like when you got some alone time or with somebody, like then you cry or like, be like, fuck, that sucked. But like, when you like, it's the same with being a cop. Like BJ, you're doing a fucking bomb. Okay. You have like a nuclear bomb. Somebody put like a nuclear bomb there and you're like holy shit, if this fucking thing goes off, like me and like, 400,000 people are dead. You're like, okay, I'm going to sit here and cry. You're like, nah, fuck dude. I got to disarm this motherfucker. And then, I'm going to go fucking just drink like a fucking blood.
People they ask me about that. I'm like, how do you deal with that? I'm like, listen, as most things, either I get it right or I get it wrong. If I get it wrong, I'm probably not going to know. And it's automatically not my problem anymore. If I get it right, I was like, either way, I'm still a fucking hero. I was like, so that just alleviates a lot of fucking anxiety for me. I was like, obviously I want to do my fucking best. I was like, but only 1 or 2 things can happen. It's really not an in between. So you do your best. Either it goes well or it doesn't.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. And it's like the same with like when you go to the range and maybe you don't get the good of a score and stuff and like I like, all right, next time I shoot I'm gonna fucking work on it, or I'm gonna go to the range tomorrow when the next day I have free. I'm gonna work on it and draw. Maybe I got this the time I got to get, like, all right, I can get this time. I'll see how much more I can go. You know what? I can't go that, but I can get the time that I need. It's like, I mean, don't get me wrong. I get fucking stressed out and annoyed about everything. But like, I mean, like certain things, they're like, my wife would be like, Jamie would be like, aren't you annoyed about that? I'm like, yeah, but like, what am I going to fucking do about this? Like I'll get annoyed about traffic or something like that. But she would always be like, well, aren't you pissed off about Lucy's cancer? I'm like, yeah, I'm fucking livid. But what am I going to do? Waste my energy on being pissed? It's something that I cannot change. Like with traffic, I can be like, well, I don't need to fucking be here right now. So like, I wish we didn't drive here.
For sure.
or like, oh, I didn't get the job. Like, yeah, I'm upset, but like what am I gonna do? I can't change it. You know?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I've learned. I know. I go to therapy. Adam, I know you do your thing. And time, I know you are. So we need to fucking go, right? But I've learned recently. Let's say within the last year, as I try to give myself one sleep to be pissed off about something. Give myself
Shit, that's good.
whatever it is in that day. I'd be as mad as I fucking want to be for the whole day. I say I give myself one fucking sleep because tomorrow it's not worth being mad about anymore. Especially if I can't do shit about it. It's like, yo,
Fuck,
you didn't
dude.
get promotion, you didn't get this, you didn't do whatever. One sleep tomorrow. Hey, it is what it is. We're on to another fucking day. I'm gonna wait.
Shit, BJ, I'm gonna have to steal that. I'm gonna have to use that, bro. In all seriousness, that's like pretty. Now you're a better person than me because I'm probably still gonna be pissed off the next day, and I may have to start out with 2 to 3 sleeps. You know,
I give myself 3 sleeps.
I'm probably still gonna be pissed, right? I said, but as far as like I being actively angry, actively upset about something, one sleep. So outside of that, it's not really doing it. As I give myself one day to get all that fucking emotion out, be as mad, call people up, and pissy and yelling, cursing, like, man, the fucking shit. I was like, but tomorrow, if doing that again tomorrow's not gonna fix it or help it.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
All right. So here's a question I gotta ask because I'm looking at you two guys. Who is fucking stronger, Tyler or BJ? Like, you guys are both monsters.
No,
you know,
BJ, 10x.
I won't say 10x, but
bro, X, especially now, especially right now. But
right.
BJ still so. Well, actually, what were you lifting in college? Because college is the strongest I've ever been.
I'm definitely way stronger than that.
See, that's ridiculous. So the strongest I ever was is I was able to rep out 405 for 3, and I was squatting 600 pounds.
Oh my God.
That was the strongest I've ever been. But when I left college, I made a point to myself. I was like, I'm not doing that anymore. So like for me, it's more rep, 225. Although I did do 315, BJ, thank you. And squatting, I've had a bum leg for so long that I squat 220. BJ still is repping out on his own solo, Mac, in his garage gym. He's repping out 450, squatting 700 pounds,
Jesus
deadlifting.
Christ.
He's still doing all that shit. And I'm like, bro, I'm not doing that. That's too much weight.
BJ, did you play ball?
I did. I played ball in college. Okay. But now it's more at this stage of my life. It's more, and I went through that after college, rebelling from the fucking from the fitness shit because it was more like a job. It wasn't really fucking fun. You know, like, hey, you have to hit these numbers. So it wasn't like more as a thing. But it has turned into more of like a mental health thing, right? As far as like strength stuff. Because my thing is this: if I can lift shit that is heavy on my body physically, for me it translates into my mind, right? If I can handle this physically, I can handle other heavy shit in my mind, like emotionally or whatever. So I tend to keep it going. As like, okay, if I can handle this, I can handle, let's say, you're undefeated on every day you've ever lived. So I kind of keep that going. I was like, if I can handle this, I can handle that. So I just it's more
dude,
of that.
That's awesome because your lifting is like another form of therapy for you.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty fucking impressive. Well, first off, let's be honest. The fucking weights you're putting up are like not human.
Ridiculous.
Yeah,
ridiculous.
Like I mean, you are basically all right. I'm going to use the calculator here on my phone. So I'm around 195. Okay, so you're putting up 2 of me with another 60 pounds to spare
for reps. For reps back.
For reps. So like you could basically be using 2 of me. Like if I cloned myself right now, like you would be doing. Look, what weight do you do? I'm doing 2 Adams right now. I'm working 2 Adams on my.
Well, Mac, I've personally spotted him while he did 200-pound dumbbells. While he repped, he did 550 bench max.
Jesus.
He tried to make me spot him when he was squatting whatever the fuck it was. I was like, I'm not getting under that. No, because if you fall, I'm gonna call 911. But you're not gonna break my body with that shit. Hell no.
That's like, I mean, and BJ, because I'm probably gonna hate you now, but you're probably like, are you a decent runner or no? Are you slow or are you pretty?
No, I'm still pretty fast. It's like, but
and that's what pisses. And you could
short distance.
Yeah, but I mean. But like, dude, can you imagine like being a criminal and like, okay, there's a cop chasing me that like they were just talking about that he reps 450 and he's catching me as I'm running and like I'm Well,
hold on. We'll end with this because we've been going for an hour.
All right.
Back, I got to tell you, this is BJ's one of our greatest, funnest stories. Me and BJ were backing up 2 other deputies, a female and a male. I love this story. And they They were on bikes. They were on bike patrol in the inner city. We go to back them up. They had 3 suspects up against the wall. They had drugs. They had a gun. They had all kinds of shit on them, whatever. Well, one of the males pushes the female and takes off running. BJ, me and BJ, which still we made a lot of decisions that I don't necessarily agree with, because me, BJ, and the other guy on the bike, we all take off after this guy on foot. We leave our patrol cars behind. We leave the female deputy with the other 2 suspects behind, and we chased this dude for probably 200 yards. I mean, it had to be 200 yards.
Gotta be, might be close to maybe just under a quarter mile.
Maybe. I don't know. We chased him for a fucking while.
A little bit, yeah.
But the thing is, BJ never got more than like 10, 15 yards away from the guy, and we were throwing, tasing. We were trying to get this guy. The guy actually burnt out before we caught him. The next thing I know, because I'm behind BJ, we catch this dude in the middle of a busy intersection, like a busy street. The guy goes up, Mac, and straight back down. And then BJ and I were swarming this dude, and somehow the guy lost a gold tooth. I don't know what happened. There's a lot of stuff. A lot of things happen. But anyway, we get the guy handcuffed, and I look up, and I'm looking at BJ, and I'm looking at the other guy, and I'm like, who's with the other deputy? Fuck. I was like, shit. All right, you gotta get. I'm running. So then I'm like, I'm my big ass. I'm having to run all the way back. I'm breathing all hard. I get there. She's just holding the other 2 at gunpoint. She doesn't even look at me. She goes, "You get him?" I was like, "Yeah, BJ got him." She's like, "All right, cool. Handcuff that one." She just had him. But I mean, we just abandoned her to chase this dude. Anyway, whatever. It all worked out. We ended up arresting them all. But I was like, what the fuck? But yeah, no, BJ, and this was like a skinny little fucking dude, but BJ hawked that dude down.
We have a guy there where I worked at. He played at Townsend, and he played in the arena ball for like 8 or 9 years. I'd never like physically met BJ, but like the guy I worked with, dude, he by far, like, it sounds like you're just like him, but I would say this dude's like one of the strongest dudes I've ever met. Like, he's also like with his hands and shit, like super fast, and like, I mean, he's like 340 pounds. He can do like 10 pull-ups too.
Yeah, that's impressive.
And, like, he's huge though. He's massive. He's absolutely massive. Yeah. But like he's the type of guy that, like, if he got shot, I would be like, Rob, you're gonna die, because I'm not gonna be able to pull you out of like, I can't pull you. But I have to I gotta find a picture. I'll send it in the thing where when he started out dispatching by us, he fucking picked me up one night. I was in BDUs. I had my gun belt, vest. I had to be probably around 200 pounds, over 200 pounds, 210 with all my stuff, maybe 220 with my. He picked me up, shoulder pressed me like I was nothing. And I'm not talking like one time. Like, he threw me, and like, I'm not a big dude, but like, I'm an average sized guy, right? Yeah. I'm not small, but I'm not huge. Dude, he threw me around, BJ, like I was a fucking rag doll. Like I was nothing. He's the type of guy that like
man-string.
Yeah, you better hope you shoot him in the heart or like somewhere, because he's not stopping.
Yeah. Don't let me get something.
He could go to like bar fights by himself and just break it up just from his sheer fucking size. And it would be the stupidest thing in the world for anybody to try. Like, it would probably be with you, BJ, like, try and be like, yeah, I'll fucking fight. I'm like, dude, you don't know what
people still do. People still do. I've personally seen BJ backhand a human being so hard with one hand while he's dealing with one person, turns around, backhands this other person, goes up and over the hood of a car to the other side of the car.
That's fucking great. Like,
I was like, oh my God, what's going on?
This is, and listen, we'll end with this. This is where you wish you had it on video, because it's art. It's like, this is like legit art. Like, this is up there with, like, I would love to see that. Was it probably your left hand too, BJ, right? Or something?
I think it was.
And like, this is like at the Picasso Da Vinci level of art. Just seeing, like, and people don't understand that, like, how amazing that is to, like, you know. And
it's easy to say. It's another thing to see. That'd be a great highlight film, bro.
Oh yeah, bro. All right. My food's here, and I got to go feed my 3 savage cats that they're getting ready to start fighting.
They're stalking you. All right, boys.
All right, awesome. Tyler, call me tomorrow. All right, BJ, awesome finally talking to you in person and shit. All right?
Yeah, we got to coordinate LA, guys.
All right, sounds good. All right, be safe, bro, hams.
Later, guys.